All right, everybody. Good morning. What is going on? Hope you guys are doing well on this Thursday. And since it's Thursday, you guys should know what that means. We've got a show with the Hawks Nest. Goes live in about 3 hours. Me and him, we're going to talk about the Vikings game, going to talk about this Falcons game. And we've also got some videos planned for the day. This being the first one. Going to do the rooting guide a little bit later. Going to do an injury report video later as well. So tune in for it all. Check it all out. First, though, we got pass coverage Thursday. Just trying to get a feel for who is giving up what in coverage for this team and what it might mean, if anything, and how to read into it, how to interpret it. You guys know the drill. You guys know what it's all about. You've been on this channel long enough. So let's go ahead and start with the linebackers. And let's face it, we know what is cooking with the linebackers in coverage right now. They're doing pretty extraordinarily well. All right, everybody, before we go any further, let's get some picks in over on Sleeper. If you're not using the Sleeper app for daily fantasy football this year, you are missing out. Check out the left side of your screen. Look at all the fun stuff you can get up to over there. Look at all these mores or lesses that you can pick. Let's put our entry together for this week. I've got JSN scoring an anytime touchdown. Didn't happen last week, but I'm feeling a bounce back this week. I got Chase Brown getting at least 52 rushing yards against the Bills. I got Achane getting at least 78 rushing yards against the Jets. And I've got the under on Gentil rushing yards at 53.5. So get on over to Sleeper, put your entries together. They can look just like this. Remember to use the promo code SBN to get up to a $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Check out Sleeper today. Go have some fun and experience sports the way they were meant to be. Okay, Ernest Jones, I mean, he did get targeted a lot in this game. He got targeted, I believe, 10 times. And some of that was because he was facing a new, younger, inexperienced quarterback who just wanted to check it down a lot. But it makes sense, right? You want to target linebackers when you're new because you kind of just get to work with what's right in front of you. But only 3 completions. There were some bigger plays in there. He did 31 yards, but when you're getting 2 interceptions out of it, including the touchdown, I mean, you're gonna forget about pretty much everything else, right? So again, it's just been so good with Ernest Jones in coverage this year. We're probably going to end up somewhere around 350, 350 yards allowed in 15 games. Really strong. QB rating allowed right now is sub 50. It'll probably go up a little bit the rest of the way just because it's really hard to keep a quarterback rating when targeted that low. But think about where we've been. Think about previous years where guys like Jordan Brooks and older Bobby Wagner would give up double, triple, sometimes even quadruple where we are right now with Jones. And there were other reasons for that just beyond the individual abilities of the players, but still, this is not something that alarms me as a Seahawks fan. Tyrese Knight played a little bit, never got targeted. I think Drake Thomas got targeted once and allowed a 5-yard completion. So, I mean, he don't forget about him. His abilities in coverage are obviously, they're not as flashy as what Jones has been doing because Jones has all the takeaways, but Drake Thomas has been targeted the same number of times this year as Jones, and he's actually allowed slightly fewer yards. So, yeah, the interceptions obviously are going to override a lot of that, but you've got 2 linebackers on this team that are at like 6.5 yards per target allowed in coverage. And considering that the guy you started the season with at outside linebacker, Tyrese Knight, was allowing over 11, you're in a pretty good spot. Okay, so that's it for the linebackers. Edge rusher, I believe the only guy who got targeted in this game was DeMarcus Lawrence. It makes sense that the edge rushers would get targeted some, by the way, for the same reason that it makes sense that EJ would get targeted a lot. But nothing really happened It was, yeah, 2 completions for a grand total of 3 yards, and it was all yak. Like, the negative 18 air yards on DeMarcus Lawrence completions is, I mean, I think that tells you that it isn't really much of anything that D-Law is doing wrong. It's just sometimes screen passes are completed and sometimes they pick up a couple yards. But again, it's not anything that is happening enough for me to really care, and not really anything that I can read into here. Got 18 targets against edge rushers so far this year in 13 games. Not really anything I can read into. So that's it for the up front, guys. Let's move to the back area. Let's move to the defensive backfield. Cornerbacks. Not a lot of damage done. I mean, we saw it. We know. We know that it was tough sledding for Max Brosmer, and there really isn't a ton to say here. Devin Witherspoon did get targeted 7 times for, what is it? Yeah, 4 completions and 41 yards, which isn't amazing, but 7 targets, 41 yards from an outside corner. I'm not upset about that either, right? And I believe it was all, yeah, it was literally all yak. It was all yak. It's not even really worth getting tripped up on, I don't think. Like, as an outside corner, when everything you allow is yak, it just kind of feels like, well, yeah, it's a little bit on you, but it's also on other people. It's not like the air yard stuff. QB rating allowed went way down, actually. When it was like over 111, and now it's down to 104. Yeah, it came down a lot. So we're trending in the right direction. I know that people are impatient with takeaways with Witherspoon, but I'm really not. He's doing great stuff out there in ways that go beyond what you see from the coverage numbers. And the coverage numbers are mostly fine. He did not have a good game, or at the very least, he got beat up a little bit against the Cardinals in week 4, and since then, it's been good. Tariq Woolen, first interception of the season, of course. He got 4 targets, 2 completions for all of 13 yards. Pretty darn irrelevant. So we've got an extended track record with Woolen this season now of him playing at a high level in coverage and doing all the stuff that you need to do to be somebody that's going to get paid a lot of money in the offseason. And I don't know if it's going to be us. I kind of suspect it won't be, but somebody's going to give him a lot of money, and I think that team is going to be getting a very good cover player. QB rating when targeted, by the way, now down to 73. That is what I expect from Woolen, right? That is where Woolen has traditionally been, and it's not where we started, so he had to work hard to get to this point. Josh Jobe, I beat up on him a little bit for some of the stuff that happened in that game on Sunday, but 4 targets, you got, yeah, I think I messed up the number here, but yeah, one completion for 5 yards. Now, I know he had the penalty, assuming the penalty was on him. I think that it was, but that's a big improvement over the Tennessee game where he kind of got picked on a little bit. So, hey, really good. Really happy with that. And look, Jobe is the guy who's a free agent this offseason. He might be the guy we keep because we can't keep Woolen. And I know he's not as good as Woolen overall, but when you look at the numbers this year, pretty darn sharp. QB rating allowed is actually a little lower than where Woolen is. And a lot of that is from earlier in the season. He hasn't been as good recently, but he was great in this game. And nobody else played except Pritchett. Pritchett did not get targeted. So that's it for the corners. Safeties, Kobe Bryant did not get targeted in this game. He did get an interception, but he was not considered the targeted player on that play. So he just adds another interception to the total without actually getting a target or any considerations in that way, shape, or form. So not much to say here. He made a pick. He's having a nice year. Another guy who's going to make some money this offseason, probably not Woolen money, but he's going to get something. QB rating when targeted, by the way, down under 60, which For safety, I know that's not the most meaningful thing in the world, but it means something. The one guy who kind of got beat up a little bit in this game, and when I say a little bit, I do mean a little bit. Eamon Worry, we're looking at 5 targets, 4 completions for a grand total of 39 yards. So it's he made the one great play in coverage where he actually probably should have gotten an interception, batted a pass down. But other than that, you're seeing a little bit of the other shoe with Eamon Worry. And I don't think it's anything truly bad. We talked about this a little bit on Monday, but he is showing some of the limitations that he has, both as a very young and inexperienced player, and also some of the athletic oddities with the way in which he moves around on a football field. And it is what it is. I don't think that it's a big problem. I think it's something that he can get better at, but this is kind of the stuff that you saw on tape with him in college. So it's not shocking. And I don't consider it to be a big problem. He's not getting lit up out there. It's just these little things that you can see the 21-year-old in him, right? Tayokata, 1 target. I believe it was 1 completion, and it was for 3 yards. So I don't even really know what to say about that. That is basically you're not really doing much of anything. You're not allowing much, and you're doing your job. And I believe that is it for this week. We've got a pretty light effort this week, to be perfectly honest, because it's Max Brosmer. But there's not much to criticize, right? A little bit of Eamon Worry, and that's it. Like, what else is there to be said? All right. That's your pass coverage Thursday. Let me know what you guys think. I will see you guys soon. Go Hawks. Check out the stream in a few hours. See you then.